To call this meeting to order. If everybody would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'd like to invite Sam Kuchwara to come up to lead us in the pledge.
Morning, everybody. Can you please help me recite the Pledge of Allegiance? All veterans might hand salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to thank the Lackawanna County Commissioners for inviting me to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm a Lackawanna County Vietnam veteran, and I'm honored to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. And of course, we all remember Sam's brother, Jim Kuchwara, who's a good friend, I think, of all of ours, so we're always thinking about him. Thanks, Sam. Okay, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes from our last commissioners meeting.
Motion. Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the minutes have been approved. You gonna make
Chair, hello, is this on? Is that okay? Okay, all right. I'd like to make a motion to table resolutions 24-0207, 24-0208, and 24-0209. Just some additional questions have come up since the work session, and I think it'd be best to table for those reasons.
Thank you. I'll second that. On the question, all those in favor of tabling signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, and those items have been tabled. Opportunity for the public to address the board on agenda items only. Okay, seeing that there is no one, we do have a proclamation on the agenda this morning, but we're going to move that until the meeting in September because Mickey Drutchell from our Behavioral Health Department could not be here to speak on this today. So we were just proclaiming September 2024 to be Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month, but we'll do that at our next meeting in September. Okay, Resolution 24-0210.
This is approving the current payables. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby approve the following payables. Lackawanna County's General Fund, numbers 375-258-375-972 inclusive, totaling $5,763,409.21. The county electronic fund transfers, including all payroll accounts, totaling $9,616,571.66. Adopted regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on August 28th, 2024. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 24-0201.
This is accepting a proposal from the Summerhill Group. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby accept the proposal from the Summerhill Group, LLC, for preparing and submitting an application to the United States Marshal Service and negotiating a new per diem under the Intergovernmental Service Agreement to be in place by January 1st, 2025. Adopted the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on August 28th, 2024. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is our solicitor, Mr. Don Frederickson.
Good morning, Commissioners. Before us today is an agreement with the Summerhill Group. We've used them in the past. They've been successfully negotiated contracts for us to increase the per diem rate for our federal prisoners that we house at our prison. Mr. Summerhill has indicated that he thinks he can get the rate up to a point where we're bringing an additional $600,000 a year for the prison. His fee is $52,000. It's a one-time fee to negotiate the new rate. So we're asking for approval today to get that done.
Okay, thank you.
And he's been successful in the past.
He has, yeah. I believe we used them twice in the past, Chris. These are like 3-year contracts, so every 3 years they come up for review and renewal. So.
Okay, any questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 24-0202.
It's approving the DCED election security grant, whereas Lackawanna County is committed to administering fair and equitable elections within Lackawanna County and submitting a grant application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Governor's Center for Local Government Services through the Election Security Grant Program to be used specifically for expenses incurred in both the primary and general elections. Now therefore be it resolved, Lackawanna County hereby authorizes the chairman of the Board of Commissioners to sign and authorize all documents and accept any awards related to the Election Security Grant Project, and does hereby approve and ratify the submission of this application to the Election Security Grant Program. Adopted the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners, Lackawanna County, held on August 28, 2024. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is the Director of Elections, Ms. Elizabeth Hopkins.
Thank you, Brian. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
The Election Integrity Grant is awarded through the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's Department of Community and Economic Development. The grant awarded to Lackawanna County is in the amount of $752,520.02. The grant will assist the Elections Department with the costs associated with the 2024 general election and the 2025 municipal primary election. And this grant funding provides financial assistance to the county to properly staff and facilitate safe, fair, and efficient elections in Lackawanna County. So it's definitely much needed in our department. And if I could just mention while we're on record that the last day to register to vote is October 21st, and the last day to apply for a mail-in or absentee ballot is October 29th. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Director Hopkins? Beth, I just want to say thank you on behalf of the entire county for the work that you do and your entire staff does. I think it's safe to say that we have one of the best election bureaus in the entire state for all the work that you do and your staff does. So thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
Motion.
Second.
On the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 24-0203.
This is approving the Office of Youth and Family Services Provider Agreements. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby approve the Department of Human Services Office and Youth and Family Services Provider Agreements for the fiscal year 24 through 25 with the following: the Delphi Village, the Bear Foundation, Children's Home of Easton Professional Family Care, the Salvation Army and New York Corporation, Wayne County Children and Youth, and White Deer Run. Adopted a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners, Lackawanna County, held on August 28, 2024. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is the Assistant Administrator of OYFS, Ms. Carrie Browning.
Thank you.
Good
Carrie.
morning. Hi. Okay, Adelphi Village is an annual renewal of a foster and residential provider contract. The Bear Foundation, the Children's Home of Easton, Professional Family Care, and Wayne County Children and Youth are annual renewal of foster care provider contracts. The Salvation Army is a new foster care contract. These contracts are needed to maintain the placement options for the county for our children. The rate that we are charged is determined by the needs of the child, and the foster care is 80% reimbursed by the state, and residential is reimbursed 60% by the state.
Okay, great. Any questions for Mrs. Browning? Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 24-0204.
This is approving the Office of Youth and Family Services Professional Service Agreements. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby approve the Department of Human Services Office and Youth and Family Services Professional Service Agreements for the fiscal year 24 to 25 with the following: Catholic Social Services and Outreach Center for Community Resources. Adopted a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on August 28, 2024. Once again, Mr. Chairman, here is Ms. Browning.
So an RFP was put out for our truancy program. Catholic Social Services was selected. So this is a new contract to outsource our truancy intervention program that used to be completed in-house by our highly trained staff. It's one of the largest sources of referrals to our agency is from the schools. So this program is designed to reduce the number of children referred for truancy, to increase school attendance, improve educational outcomes of student participants, and increase the likelihood of advancing to the next grade level, and reduce the percentage of children entering out-of-home care because of truancy issues. This has a do-not-exceed amount of $584,946 and will be funded by the state truancy grant with a reimbursement rate of 90%. An RFP was also put out for our family engagement program. Outreach Center for Community Resources was selected to run the Family Engagement Initiative. So this is a new contract. It contains 3 components: crisis rapid response family meetings involving gathering family and community supports immediately following an emergency situation that will likely result in a placement. The purpose is to address the immediate concern that is leading to the child being removed from his or her home. This process actively involves the family in the decision-making process. Family group decision-making, which is a strength-based empowerment model designed to widen and bring together family group that includes relatives, friends, and community members to collectively make decisions to resolve the concern and develop a family plan for critical decisions regarding a child's safety, permanency, and well-being. And finally, family team conferences, which is a meeting that is held for every child that is placed out of the home. This contract has a do not exceed amount of $551,244 and will be funded by the state special grants at a reimbursement rate of 90% and Act 148 with a reimbursement rate of 80%. This is something that our highly trained staff also used to do internally within our office. We also have an annual renewal for the Outreach Center for Community Resources for supervised visitation, which is an expansion of the contract to take over the majority of the visitation program for all children in placement. Our office is mandated to provide visitation for families when there's an out-of-home placement and to testify to these reasonable efforts in court. And finally, Outreach Center for Community Resources Incredible Years, an annual renewal of an evidence-based parenting program. And it's a 14-week program whose foundation focuses on building parent-child relationships through child-directed play, social and emotional coaching, praise, and incentives. The contract do not exceed amount is $125,000 and will be funded by the state special grants at a reimbursement rate of 90%. These are all annual contracts. The professional contracts are reimbursed 80 to 90% by the state.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Anyone have any questions? Okay, thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 24-0205.
It's approving an engineering agreement. Be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby approve a professional service contract with Engineering Consulting Services Mid-Atlantic LLC of York, Pennsylvania, to design, engineer, and provide plans to assist for reconstruction of the Lackawanna County's number 5 dam under an awarded grant from the United States Department of Homeland Security 2021 High Hazard Potential Dam Grant by and between the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency. This agreement is to commence upon execution and expire October 31st, 2025. Now therefore be it resolved, the Lackawanna County Board of Commissioners is hereby designated the chairman and the chief of staff as the officials to sign and submit any and all documentation on behalf of Lackawanna County in support of this project. Adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on August 28th, 2024. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is our Director of Economic Development, Ms. Kristen Magnotta.
Thanks, Chief. Good morning, Commissioners. As was stated, this originated in the Economic Development Department following a successful grant application for redesign and engineering of the number 5 dam on Montage Mountain. The legislation awards a professional services contract to ECS Mid-Atlantic. They have a number of locations, but many of their locations are based right here out of Pennsylvania. So Philadelphia, Norristown, Mechanicsburg, Pittsburgh, York. So we're working with folks that not only know what they're doing, doing well, but are also familiar with Pennsylvania. And this RFP process had a specific process and evaluation. The firm was chosen after the proposal was submitted, followed by interviews with the evaluation team. The total cost of this contract is $400,884, which includes an award from FEMA, PEMA, and Homeland Security for their high hazard dam. And those are federal funds. And our match will be $194,775 through our Roads and Bridges Department. We anticipate that there could be the project may cost less than both the award and committed funds, which will then reduce our match amount. Just for a little bit of quick background, the benefit is that this dam will be improved for the first time since its construction in the late 1800s and will no longer pose a risk of breach downstream. Also, this grant has extended deadline to between September and October of 2025. And this will be for design and engineering only. One thing I wanted to mention is that this will benefit all of Montage Mountain. And as part of our ongoing Montage Mountain study, this focuses on utilities and infrastructure so that, this can only continue to be a benefit to us looking into what our needs are on Montage Mountain through that study. Last thing I will say on this project, overall, we see this being closer to a full $6 million project. And as we speak, our grants manager has been working diligently with FEMA, PEMA, and Homeland Security to actually solidify 2 other pots of funding, one that is almost $4 million and one that is over $2 million. So there is a very good chance that we will, other than the match from Roads and Bridges, that we may not have to pay any county funds for this entire project for the reconstruction, the design, engineering, and reconstruction of Dam Number 5 on Montage Mountain. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Any questions?
I think you answered them all.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 24-0205.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 24-0206.
This is ratifying the submission of a Gateways Trails and Recreation Program grant for the North Pocono Trail Development Phase 2. Be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby ratify the submission of a grant application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development through the Gateways, Trails, and Recreation Grant Program for continued development of the North Pocono Trail in Elmhurst Township in the amount of $250,000. Be it further resolved, the Lackawanna County hereby authorizes the chairman of the Lackawanna County Board of Commissioners to sign all documents and accept any awards, if approved, related to this Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Grant Program, adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on August 28, 2024. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is the Director of Parks and Recreation, Mr. Paul Bechtel.
Thank you, Commissioners, for your time. Prior to my arrival in April, Economic Development has already started the initiation of construction of the North Pocono Trail system, going from the Twin Bridges up toward Old State Road near the Wynot and closer to 435. That construction is currently underway. This grant application is being used to try to extend the North Pocono Trail from the trailhead on State Street near the Wynot to continue up that section closer to Elmhurst Reservoir. So basically along Old State Road, we're going to propose with this $250,000 grant application to continue up toward 435, and then we're going to transition to a share of the road along G.C. Smith, and we're looking to do a proposed pocket park along Roaring Brook to get access into that location. It's about a 0.3 mile section of trail that we're looking to use the $250,000 to accomplish. And then from share of the road, we'll be on county property to take us along the access road up to Elmhurst Reservoir to extend another 0.4 miles. So the current trail that's under construction now is about 3.5 miles, and this would add an additional, almost another mile to the North Pocono Trail section. The required match for the GTRP grant application is being provided. The county is responsible for $77,750. However, it's not a cash match. We're going to use an in-kind match of the proposed replacement that's happening with the GC Smith Bridge already. So the widening of that bridge is providing pedestrian and bike access, and that's going to be hopefully the acceptable in-kind match, so it wouldn't be anything out of the county's pocket to match this. So the goal is to get $250,000 from this GTRP grant application to extend the trail further, with the goal of it eventually connecting toward Moscow and parts north from there.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
That's great, Paul. Thank you. All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 24-0206.
Motion.
Second.
On the question?
I just think really quick, it's a great chance to secure additional funding and without obviously using taxpayer dollars. So it's, you know, to make that potential of making that trail longer and extending it is, I think it's a wonderful thing. It's a great job by Paul.
Anyone else? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. So we have tabled the next three resolutions, so I'll skip right to Resolution 24-0212.
These are appointments to the Lackawanna County Library Board. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby reappoint the following individuals to the Lackawanna County Library Board. Brian Calley, Esquire of Dunmore. His term is to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2027. William Zacher of Scranton, term to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2026. Kathy Mazer of Dixon City, term to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2026. Joan Hodawans of Scranton, term to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2025. Maureen Brennan of Mayfield, term to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2025. Mary Rabel of Moscow, term to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2026. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners does hereby appoint the following individual to the Lackawanna County Library Board. Emily Karam of Waverly Township, term to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2027. Adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on August 28th, 2024. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
Motion.
Second.
On the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Opportunity for the public to address the board.
Commissioners, Bob Bola, Scranton. I'm here because some very upsetting issues that have taken place in our community. And I'm directing this to Mr. Gahan. Comments you made about Commissioner sitting next to you. Think about what you said about him. He has a wealth of knowledge of 4 years of sitting here. Knowledge that you or nobody else has. And rather than pull the knowledge from Mr. Chermak to help you move us forward instead of putting us further in debt and looking at the pitfalls that you're not even aware of, you took it upon yourself to insult him. You insulted who he is, his intelligence. I've known Chris since he's a kid. I have nothing but respect for him. He's worked hard. He's done everything he had to do. And you made a comment. Decency, honor, respect. Those are what our parents that you stated, grandparents and everybody gave us those cultures that we grew up with. You tried to show your daughter respect. And rather than answer why Trump was angry at 5 years old, which I find unbelievable, that she would know whether he's angry or smiling and who he is, and respect him as the former president of the United States, and a president who was almost assassinated by a lunatic, is what our government is. You guys brought back an incompetent individual that made the statement, too bad he didn't get hit. And you put him back to work. He doesn't belong in our community. but you're not following the rules that you told your daughter about, that you established. Honor, respect. Your former employee or present employee, our employee, he works for us, just like you guys do, didn't respect what was going on, yet you put him back to work. That was a humiliation to all of us, whether you believe in Trump or you don't. Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, or just a damn American. You don't have that respect. And that's why I came here today. I've traveled all over the world. I've been here in a lot of other issues. And go ahead, I met you at Jim Connor's wake, an individual I had nothing but a great deal of respect for. I've known Jimmy for years. We sat, had lunch together, and we discussed things. Nobody ever knew about it. Yet, I held my hand out to you, which I knew you weren't going to accept. And you walked away, because I would have pulled my hand away from you anyway. Because one thing about you, we were in court, we sued you, not because of personal, but because of principles. You didn't respect me, you didn't respect anybody else. And one thing you guys, you especially, need to learn, the insult you need to respond back to Commissioner Chermak is he's entitled to an apology. While he may be a minority, he's your equal, whether you like that or not. And there's one thing you got to understand if you're going to continue to represent all of us. And I was taught that at an early age from my grandparents. Respect is earned, not demanded. And that's something you need to understand. I came here out of respect for him, out of respect for Matt. I didn't come out of here for respect for you, because I don't respect you. I never did and never will. So I want to be very clear on that. And we're not done yet, because I don't think you belong even in this seat. I wish you resigned and walked away after the insults you just gave him. And before I step down from here, I know your little lights are making you all happy. City councils aren't working. You should straighten them out. I think you need publicly right now, while I'm here, to apologize to Mr. Chermak, Commissioner Chermak, for your insults. That means you're a better man than you're trying not to be. You owe him that respect. You owe us the respect. And that's something you haven't learned yet if you don't give him the respect and respond back to him for that insult. That's all I got to say to you. And I hope one day you do resign. And Chris, stay where you are, buddy. Stay the course, because they're not worth it.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board?
I just want to say one thing real quick. Bob, obviously I've known you for a long time. Bob, you've known my father for a long time. Don't say I'm not worth it. It's extremely disrespectful. I don't appreciate that. In terms of what you mentioned earlier about a former employee, he was suspended for 2 weeks without pay, and he resigned from his position in Old Forge. He has been and is a very, very good employee here, and he does a lot, who had made an awful mistake, and he paid for it. And lastly, I don't think it's a lack of respect between the individuals sitting up here. There certainly has been a number of disagreements over the past weeks and months. But we'll continue to work through it and know, and I've said it a number of times, we'll do what's absolutely best for the people of Lackawanna County. And we've never lost sight of that, and we never will.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Ralph Antidormi, representing Madison Township, in a big family. My father was First World War combat veteran, come back and raised on the farm, and there's the utilities was all outside, hard times. I've been working since I'm 14 years old, 60 years on the road, day and night. You can go to sleep every night like some of you young fellas there are going to set the world on fire. But what I don't like is picking on one another, blame this guy, blame that guy. What are you going to do when it snows too much? Blame that weatherman? Why are we blaming Chermak? You got 3 guys in there that should work together. It seems every board that was on there, they seem to fight one another. Well, this guy's to blame, that guy's to blame. I back Sherman. I don't know you guys, but I know you were on around campaigning, and you seem like a couple of young fellas there, but what do you know about hard times? I'm 85 years old, one of the younger ones in my family of 7, military, combat veterans, and everything. What I'm asking is this. You put in the paper about assessments and everything else. I'm assessed for $24,000. I got a ranch-type house. I got a few acres there, but it's all rocks and swamp. Why is it so high? I got a wife that's 81 years old. She's sick. Who's going to? I don't have no pension. If you got a pension, God bless you. If a job ended yesterday, I'd find another truck to drive tomorrow, and then I'd help the rest of the guys that I could. Day and night, never stopped. I was on the school board in North Pocono. They said if you didn't play sports, you didn't turn out good. You know what my sports were? My 7 brothers, 1 kid brother graduated, the youngest one. My sport is WORK. It was always surviving. I didn't go to Yale, okay? But I want something knocked off for the seniors over 80, 85, 90 years old. Can't you do that? I mean, you got to wait until you bury us, and you guys are going to get there someday, maybe. I don't like the idea of paying too much taxes, school taxes, this taxes, that taxes. I pay $1,900 county taxes. I don't get no trails. I don't get nothing. We don't get nothing in Madisonville. I think you're spending too much money on too many progress. And then there's a little bit of nepotism around here. I've been watching you for the last few months. A little bit of nepotism. This guy had a job. No, he don't have a job. Somebody else has a job. Maybe you should cut some of that waste out. Tighten up your belt. Where the hell are we going? We're not getting no raises. I'm not going to talk about politics because I think there's a lot of political stuff right here. I don't care about the rest of the world. I'm talking about Lackawanna County. It's not getting no better. And why are you guys picking on Shermack there? Why you shouldn't pick on one another? You should work together. Like I said, when it snows, who are you going to blame? Let me see if I got anything else because I don't have my anti-shade case with me. I lost my agenda. Okay. Born on the farm, poor, knows what work is. So you guys don't know what it is. The back house was up on the hill. In the snow, you walked up there barefoot. Then you walked to school after you did your chores 7 days a week. You get no breaks. And all that money you're spending on trails and trails where people move in so they can have trails and trails. I run enough trails chasing the cows in the woods. I think we're getting too much. I'm not against nothing, but you're going too far, spending too much. And then when you guys get off the board, the next board is going to blame you guys. What are we blaming one another? You know, if you're in combat, you don't blame the guy next to you there. You try to work together. I don't know what else I wanted to tell you, but I think it's crazy. Everything is ruined. And why do you figure you can hire guys and save money? I don't follow that. I don't follow the Yale mentality that you're going to hire another 12 guys for the prison. What you're going to save money? How the hell does that happen? I don't know the answer to that. Anyway, I just want to come down here. I had to walk 4 blocks to get over here, and I got a bad leg, but I got here because I couldn't find a parking place. And that's another farce. Everything chasing people right out of the city. And as far as that Italian fight, I'm Italian. My brother used to sing here. It should be over there in the field or something where you can park and people get around. It's so crowded you can't walk through there. It's a hell of a system. And you guys all have something to do with it because you're all connected.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board?
Hey, Italiano. I got the schooling from the Hard Rocks. That's it. I don't need no school. Oh, yeah, give me that, will you? I can't afford a knee.
Joan Hodawan in Scranton. I've been paying taxes to the county for the last 25 years. And I'm very curious about why the August 21st meeting was canceled last week. You had 2 commissioners here, so you had a quorum. And I'd like to know that at the end of the meeting. Also, you had an August 16th letter, came out on commissioner's letterhead to judges, colleagues, and directors about our financial distress status and planned actions. was signed by 2 of 3 commissioners. Mr. Chermak's signature was not there. And I'm getting kind of tired of seeing, 2 of the 3 commissioners being quoted, putting out information, and nothing for Mr. Chermak. Well, I gotta say, Mr. Chermak is a very successful businessman, and he knows something about managing money and profits and losses. And I keep hearing him quoted as being saying, well, I will not raise taxes, I will not support raising taxes. But let me read you what he said on June 18th. Quote, I still don't see any way around a major tax increase, which again I said every meeting, I'm not going to support that until we look at major cost-cutting initiatives and cost savings. So I'd like to know what he has in mind in terms of cost savings. So the next time some memorandum comes out or some letter from the commissioners with commissioner's letterhead, I'd like to see your dissenting opinion in writing, and I'd like you to pass it out at these meetings. All I see is you saying no tax increase, which, really needs an explanation. And I know you as a businessman have some good ideas. That's number one. I believe that one of our problems is fraud, waste, and abuse of taxpayer dollars. And I'm wondering, what can we do to cut back on that kind of waste? Are employee layoffs possibly on the table as an option? I'd like to know that. Let's talk about the credit union that was purchased and was going to be the home of your health department, which no longer exists. We paid $5 million for that in 2022. What is the occupancy rate in that building as of today, and what are the plans for it in the future? Is it possible to sell that building and put it back on the tax rolls and recoup some of the money we spent? These are some of the things I'd like to know. And while we're talking about costs, I would like to know the true cost of buying this government center. It was advertised at $17 million, and it was going to save us a lot of money by concentrating and co-locating all the county offices in one building. What was the true cost, and why are we buying additional buildings? We bought the credit union. We bought the criminal justice center. Where else are we buying? Okay, I want to know what is the true cost of that. Maybe that's something the Scranton Times could look into as an investigation. I bet the numbers will be eye-popping. And then let's talk about the audit. Commissioner Gahn, in February 21st, you promised the public that as a best practice, there would be a public meeting when the audit was completed. On April 3rd, this is what you said, quote, I'm glad to report that the 2023 audit has finally been completed. We plan on holding a public meeting with the auditor, Zinkowski and Axelrod, and our Revenue and Finance Department so they can explain the audit and our financial standing in detail, unquote. So, when is that meeting going to be scheduled? It's been 4 months since completion.
Yeah, we're going to have that at some point in September. We're just scheduling.
Okey-dokey.
Okay.
I will be there. Please don't have it out of town, or I'll have to take a cab.
No,
Thank
we'll have
you.
it here. Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board?
Thank you, John.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Charlie Spano. I am a resident of Scranton, and I have a couple of comments, mostly relevant to the majority commissioners on your outrageous comments quoted in the Scranton Times this past Sunday. Now, what was interesting about that article that quoted you specifically, Commissioner Gahn, criticizing Commissioner Chermak, was the photograph which accompanied it, made in May, which only showed the two of you. Now, if your comment about Mr. Shermack had any validity whatsoever, that he was asleep at the switch, that he was an absentee commissioner, why didn't you break the glass ceiling and put him at the podium with the two of you so that picture could show all three of you?
I can answer
Why
that.
are you saying that you were misled?
I can answer that question about the photo. Would you like me to answer it now?
Go ahead.
That photo was taken by the Scranton Times. That was at a press conference that Commissioner McGloin and I had when we were announcing that we were dissolving the health department to save the taxpayers in the tune of $4.5 million. Commissioner Chermak was against that, so he wasn't there. That's the only reason he wasn't in the picture. That was a picture taken by the Scranton Times. We don't choose what pictures they put in the
Okay,
newspaper.
fair enough.
Okay.
But then the commissioner is criticized for being an absentee commissioner. He's been here 4 years. He's been here every day in this building working. I know that for a fact because I couldn't believe that he would come in every single day and do whatever work he was doing. Your criticism is outrageous, unfair, unwarranted, and really, when the two of you ran, I actually thought there was a chance that the two of you, with your promises of tax cut and accountability, would actually make a difference. But it seems like you've fallen right into the same trap as the all-ordinary, regular Democratic philosophy. Blame the other guy. He's the minority commissioner. You have 2 votes, he has 1 vote. The math doesn't work out unless one of you switch over. How can you do that? How can you say that? Now, Commissioner McGloin, when he ran, well, both of you actually said, we're going to lower taxes. We want to lower taxes.
I never said that. That is incorrect.
Oh, well, then you're off the hook. So you could take the blame for the tax increase on your shoulders completely. And Commissioner McGloin can point to you, maybe, and say that you're the one who caused the tax increase. It takes real courage to cut a budget. And I know, because I've done it. It doesn't take a lot of courage to tell the taxpayers, we're going to take more of your money.
It takes courage to do the right thing, Charlie. And I think you've known me long enough to know that. And I think that's what we've been able to do for the past 8 months or so. And you're right. Cutting taxes was actually a goal of mine, and it is still for hopefully one day eventually. When, I don't know. Unfortunately, the lack of transparency over the years has led to us uncovering an absolute disaster here in the county, which we have been upfront about, Charlie. And this is something that the public nor I ever knew about until taking office. This has been passed down for years and years and years, and administration after administration after administration.
Now, how interesting is that?
Inherited. I'm sorry?
I was going to say, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
How interesting was that? That in the comments in the Sunday article was that you feel that you were misled, that the county voters were misled by the previous majority commissioners. Yet, since they apparently did not allow you to investigate, to look at the budget, to answer any questions to them you may have had, you're shutting out Commissioner Shermack. Are you afraid of a good idea? Bring him into the table.
Listen, that's not true. When we hear a good idea, we'll entertain it.
If he's not at the table, how can you hear it?
He's always invited to everything.
He
That's
has access
totally
to everything we have
incorrect.
access to, Charlie.
Would anyone else like to address the board?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Kevin Crosby. I'm the Director of Operations at Eastern Roofing Systems. Taxes and finances seem to be their reoccurring theme here today. So I'd like to just take a couple of minutes to discuss a project that we are currently trying to bid, which is the Lackawanna County Prison re-roofing project. It's come to our attention that there is a project labor agreement that is attached to the bid documents for this project. So with a project labor agreement, a non-union trades company cannot bid this project. So I have a letter here from Josh Shapiro to all agency heads that he penned on March 27, 2024. Just going to take a snippet out of this. It says, PLA is appropriate and allowed. Pennsylvania law permits the inclusion of PLAs, project labor agreements, in certain solicitations, provided they do not preclude any contractor from bidding on the project. The bidding purpose is both open to union and non-union contractors without discrimination, and the use of non-union labor is allowed. So a PLA that is attached to the bid documents for this project, the re-roofing project of the Lackawanna County Prison, makes us sign an agreement with the local union to provide their labor. So essentially, we cannot bid the project, or we are precluded from bidding the project, along with 7 or 8 other roofing contractors that are non-union that were at the pre-bid meeting this past week. So we'd just like to have a little bit further discussion about the county's finances and why they would put a project labor agreement in the bid documents, which precludes competition and will drive the cost of the project. That's all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to address the board?
Good morning. My name is Mike Gallagher. I'm counsel. I'm here as a taxpayer of Lackawanna County and as counsel to my client, Holly Ridge Development, or Holly Ridge Estates, which is being constructed in Old Forge. It's been a lot of discussion here today about economic development. The county commissioners have run on a platform of promoting economic development, wanting economic development in the county. Holly Ridge Development is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, project going on in the county right now as far as economic development. It's a project which is in the process, just started constructing approximately 200 townhouse and high-end apartment units. This is a development that is constructing on an average day. There's 50 plus workers there. Those workers are going out into the community. They're buying lunches, they're buying dinners, they're buying materials for the project itself. When people move in there, they're high-end people that are moving in there, meaning they have income. They're doctors, there's lawyers. It's one of the, I would probably guess, going to be one of the highest residential suppliers for the hospitals here. It's uniquely situated between Lackawanna and Luzerne hospitals so that the doctors like the location in Old Forge because they can get to both hospitals. It will be generating and has already started generating tax income for the Old Forge Borough and for Lackawanna County. Again, this is going to be about a $100 million development when it's done that's being put in there. And we have come to the county requesting, we've done it on 3 occasions, requesting a little bit of help, a little bit of backing from the county commissioners to get behind this development and to provide what's called a LRTA. I think the county commissioners are aware of it. Doesn't cost the county a single thing right now. It basically defers the taxes that are paid on the improvements to the development for a period of time. The principal of Holly Ridge has just completed another development in Old Forge also, Birchwood Estates. There was a LRTA given for Birchwood Estates back in 2016, and the county and other municipalities, the tax school district as well as the borough, is now beginning to reap the benefits of that because the taxes that you are now using to pay the various bills are coming in from the Birchwood development. Birchwood would not have succeeded without the LRTA. It would not be there. It would have failed about halfway through, especially when COVID hit. The only reason it has succeeded is because of LRTA. We have requested and are requesting that the county give consideration to the LRTA request in relation to Holly Ridge. Again, we've requested this on multiple occasions. We have gotten responses that we'll get back to you if we're interested. We're not. We've requested that the county commissioners come down, look at the development, look at what's going on, look at Birchwood and see what a success that was and how there can be another successful development in Lackawanna County which may not succeed without the LRTA benefits. We have only really gotten a response from Commissioner Chermak. We appreciate that. He is, as I understand, behind the project, behind the development, and would like to see it succeed. Without that help from the county in the form of Alerta, which again costs the county $0 right now. The county will reap those benefits a couple of years down the road when the taxes start to get paid on the improvements to the development. So my question to the commissioners is, you were in favor of economic development. You ran on a platform of economic development. There's been a lot of discussion here about economic development. If the county is truly in favor of economic development, why is it not backing one of the biggest economic development projects in the area? Why is it not getting behind Holly Ridge? Why is it not supporting that? Why won't it even consider and put on the agenda our request for the LRTA assistance? We're happy to tour the facilities with you. We're happy to meet with you. We're happy to provide you with information. There was massive amounts of information provided on this project back in November when the transition was going on, again in January, and again on June. And we can't get a response why the county won't do this. So that's my request.
Okay. Don, do you want to address this and go through like the truthful part of everything?
Certainly, Commissioners. First of all, Mike, I sent you a letter explaining to you why the county will not address this. I spelled it out for you. There's a number of issues with the property. One, it's subject to a TIF already. You can't have a TIF and Alert on the same property.
There is no TIF on the property. Okay.
There is a TIF on the property. I'll send you a copy of it. Number two, the 12 years I've been with the county grants LRTAs normally after they're approved by the local school district and the local borough. The borough in Old Forge has approved it. The school district has declined. So therefore, we normally do not follow through with LRTA unless the local municipality and the school district also approve it. In this case, it did not occur. And third, there's litigation involving the LRTA on the property going on in the court right now. So the solicitor's office is advising the commissioners not to go anywhere near it at this point.
Thank you.
If I may respond.
And they were all spelled out in the letter I sent to Attorney Gallagher.
And if I may respond to that, the TIF was dissolved by the Redevelopment Authority last September to make way for LRTA to be approved. He's right, you can't have a TIF and LRTA. There is currently no TIF
But
on the
Mike,
property.
there was also one approved.
Let me speak.
But there
You
was
had your
also one
opportunity,
approved by the
Don.
county. There was a separate TIF by the county that was
You
approved
had
that
your
has not been
opportunity to
resolved.
speak, okay?
Tell the truth.
Okay, well, you had your opportunity. This is my turn. The TIF was dissolved. The litigation that is being, I'm not going to comment on right now, but that was started after the county ignored us and didn't consider the LRTA, wouldn't even respond to our request for LRTA because it was a $1.5 million TIF that was taken away from my client. So I guess if the county's position is there's still a TIF, where's our $1.5 million? With regard to not approving these, if they're not approved by another taxing entity, the school district has not approved it. Don't these commissioners want to be different? Don't they want to get out of the pattern that we've had in the past? The very definition.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Joe Tutino. I'm from Old Forge, Pennsylvania. I'm here to address the county commissioners. I'm a little appalled to see in the newspaper and read. I was on vacation. I came back with an article about Chris Chermak. He's a do-nothing commissioner, which is totally false. I met him at Catalano's when he was first running. I sat down with Paul Catalano himself. He told me his platform, what it was going to be. I listened for over an hour. I know what he's done in office. He's been in 4 years. I've been in contact with him. He has an open door policy. He listens to what people say. There's no man in Lackawanna County, as far as I'm concerned, that is a man of integrity and a man of gold than Chris Chermak. His name in Lackawanna County is second to none. And I meet a lot of people all the time. And the other question I have is on this taxes and everything, about the assessments and everything like that. I want to know where this pandemic money is at right now, where we spent it, how much is left, and can we use it for the budget? That has to be brought out. How much do we get? Where do we stand now? How much is left? Then we can talk about raising taxes. You guys ran on the platform of not raising taxes. I understand there sometimes might have to be a tax increase. But you have to listen to the person, a businessman in charge. What's his plan going to be to lower taxes? Let's listen to what he has to say. He's been a businessman for all his life. I've talked to him many times on this. Jerry Notarianni and Debbie Dominic, if you want to talk about sleep at the switch, there's your two right there. They caused where we are today. Chris been telling me this for a long time, trying to talk to them, trying to tell them, let's look at the budget, let's downsize. Democrats' motto, tax and spend. They want to collect taxes and they want to spend. We got to cut. You got to find cuts. There's got to be cuts. I understand you have assistants making $50,000 a year. They got $5,000 increases. Your assistants got, I saw it in the paper. Why do they get raises? We can't be giving raises out. We don't have any money.
That's not factual.
What was that?
Right up here. Sir, up in the front. You just stated that we gave raises out to our assistants. That is not factual. So I don't know where you're getting your information from, but that's not true.
I found out it was true.
From who? Because it's not true. I'm telling you it's not true. Go look it up. False.
Okay, what are they making right now?
They make around 50,000. They've made that.
And they never got a $5,000 raise.
Incorrect. Nope.
Well, why is the paper saying something about Matt hired a guy for $60,000?
Not true. You must have misread that. It was never in the
Assistant
paper.
that you
I'm
hired
looking at
and
the
everything
reporter
like
right
that.
now. That's not true.
Now, Chris's assistant
She
makes more
than
money because he's been here longer.
Okay, so what's your point?
The point I heard was,
You heard from
yes,
who?
but I want to factual that they did not get raises.
Incorrect.
Okay. So
Thank
you're not
you.
giving out raises.
No.
All right.
Thank you.
What was that?
They're not cutting out.
Okay, sir, do you have anything else?
My question is, where are you guys going to find cuts? Are you listening to Mr. Shermack's ideas? He says no tax increase. You guys say we have to raise taxes. You have to hire somebody out of our tax money to pay them to come in and tell them to raise our taxes, because you guys didn't want to take responsibility to raise our taxes. Mr. Bozzoni, why can't he do the job? We're paying him. Why can't he come and say, hey, this is what we got to do? I want to see cuts. I don't want to see taxes raised. We can't afford it. If you want to go after people who raise their taxes, go after all these guys that have all these apartments making thousands of dollars. Guys like me on Social Security, we can't afford taxes anymore. We can't afford it. And your platform was you were going to cut taxes.
Incorrect. Thank you.
It's not right? Let me read it right here. Right in Matt's office, on his board, Matt's priorities. Cut taxes for families, workers, and seniors. Right on his board. Secondly, restore integrity to local government. Those are Matt's things. He said it. I know he can't do it. We talked about it. But he's got to try to work together. You two guys got to work with the minority. You understand that? You're not doing that. You're fighting with each other. And I'm appalled, Bill, that I know you, that you would throw him under the bus in the papers saying he's do nothing commissioner. That is appalling to me, unacceptable, and everybody I know is pissed off about it. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't read that in the paper. Right.
You don't need somebody else to run
Sir,
your house.
excuse me. Hey, you can't speak out from the crowd, okay?
Well, I gotta pay you, I've been paid.
Sir, I'm going to remove you from the meeting. I'm going to remove you from the meeting. Be quiet. Go ahead.
The last thing, excuse me, the last thing I have, restore integrity to local government. Mr. Notary's from Old Forge, he resigned. What he said in the papers is totally wrong. He should be fired, no questions asked. I understand he was Matt's campaign manager or something like that. Is that true, Matt?
So not true.
Completely false, Joe.
Joe's really throwing out
I'm just
some
telling you, though.
conspiracy theories.
Mr. Notary should be fired for what he did. That is totally unacceptable. I don't care if he's Republican, Democrat, or what. If you two had a vote, I bet you Chris Shermack would want him fired.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to address the board?
Can I get back up?
No. You've said enough.
You don't want me back up.
Next,
I ain't done.
no, next meeting, we'll be meeting until January. Okay, Commissioner Trimack, any comments or questions?
Well, let me address a couple things. Holly Ridge, I'll start that. Birchwood Estates is by far one of the nicest communities that I've ever even seen. Doesn't matter where, it's outstanding. The new Holly Ridge, I was there. I can't believe the transformation on that property and what's going on. It's incredible. The economic development and what George Dunbar is doing for the community is outstanding. And we do want to push for economic development here in Lackawanna County. And I think it's up to us to make those decisions. I mean, to me, to allow the school district to dictate what we do is asinine. George puts up everything he's got for these communities. They're beautiful, they're maintained, it's high-end clientele, doctors, lawyers, they're supplying all the housing for some of these people. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So, you know, whether there's a TIF or not a TIF and LERTAs and all these other acronyms, we need to get that straightened out. I think anybody doing a project like that would be entitled to a LERTA. I mean, to me, that just makes all the sense in the world. So I think it needs to be looked into, and I don't want to get into legalities. I'm not an attorney, but I think that stuff could be worked out. But again, I don't think it's up to the school district to dictate what the boroughs and what the county wants to do. Eastern Roofing. I guess my question was, you know, if a non-union company was going to come in and do a job, they do a prevailing wage. I'm assuming you do. So, you know, it's an equal playing field. So the expenses would be the same whether it was a union company, non-union company, or if you're hiring union workers. I agree 100% that you should be able to bid the project. It's one of the largest roofing companies in the state. I don't even know, maybe in the Eastern Seaboard. It's huge, so I know they can handle the job. So I think we need to look into that. But everybody here, you know, I appreciate all your support. You know, I don't read the paper, so, you know, these accusations or comments or whatever, to me, it's just laughable. Ask anybody that knows me, they'll know that I go to work. I've been working here for 4 years, well, almost 5 years now. Worked through a horrifying pandemic that the world was faced with, and we were here every day. You know, it was difficult times, very difficult times. What we're faced with now with finances and cost of everything skyrocketing, fuel prices, food prices, it's totally out of control. People can't afford another penny. You know, I've heard a couple of comments, you know, I'm a successful businessman. I'm just part of my family business. My grandfather started he was just a little shop in the backyard, probably, I think, 1945. It was never easy. And we faced a lot of great times, and then certainly a lot of bad times. Over my lifetime, we lost 4 franchises that went out of business. That's unheard of. Whether you compare your household budget, your own personal budget, your business budget, or the county budget, whether you're a major corporation, you can't spend more than you make. And when things get tough, when we lost our franchises, we knuckled down. You got to make cuts. So you can't cut your way out of these problems. Well, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. It's not, some of them are very difficult decisions. I'm certainly not asleep at the wheel. I'm certainly available at any time anybody want to talk. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm not looking for fights with anyone. I have my experience from the last 4 years. I'll be happy to communicate that. Somebody has to ask me, and when there's a meeting, I have to be notified that there's a meeting. But I'm here. I'm here to do the job. I'm one of 3 commissioners. We all have the same authority, except when there's 2 votes, the third one's out. But we are faced with some difficult times. You know, next week is September. We're 9 months have gone by already. When I first got in, one of the very first things I did was put together a bipartisan budget study committee because I knew the county finances were a mess. It wasn't a secret. Everybody knows. We all knew what was going on. But my team was unable to get information they were needing and was unable to move forward with that. Just a discussion I've had with Dave Balzoni. Dave Balzoni, I said it the other day, he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders trying to figure this out. You know, but a statement to me that if my budget study committee was able to get the information that they wanted and able to succeed in doing the things they wanted to do, we might not be in this problem we're in right now. And maybe we wouldn't be. This building has gone millions and millions and millions of dollars over budget. But that was just a killing blow. You know, the county was still not financially sound. We have a structural deficit now that we have to deal with. We have a cash deficit now that we have to deal with. And it's gonna take cuts, and it's gonna take hard decisions. It's gonna take everybody working together to try to figure this out. And simply just blowing through 9 months, hiring consultants, getting the experts, getting everyone's opinions, it's not solving the problem. We're just spending money and spending money. So when I say I'm not going to vote for a tax increase, it's not because I'm not going to vote for a tax increase, but we've done nothing to try to save any money over 5 years, not just 1 year. So it's time to take a hard look and make some tough decisions. And when the dust settles, we'll see where we are. But just, you know, I like, accuse me of whatever you want. Tell me I don't know what I'm doing. Tell me I don't know what I'm saying. You know what? I work as hard as I can here. Ask anyone that knows me. I'm here every day. I'm always available. I'm around during pandemics. I go to work. I'm around during floods. I go to work. I'm out with the community. I volunteer. I do everything I can possibly do. And once in a while, I even get to stop and see my father, who is 83 years old and still works every goddamn day of his life, trying to survive. So we got to work harder. We got to try harder. And we have to work together. I have no problem with working with 2 other commissioners, just like I did on my last term. I'm here for the community. I'm here for the residents of Lackawanna County. I'm here to do the right thing, whatever it is. If it's the right thing, I'm on board. If it's not the right thing, don't even waste my time. So I appreciate your support, and I'm here. I'm here for 3.5 more years.
Okay, Commissioner McGloin.
So there's some really good people in this building doing some really good things on a daily basis. And you know, I'm not going to say something that I haven't already said or that I haven't already addressed. I feel like we've been completely honest and transparent with the people of Lackawanna County for the past 8 months. We've raised concerns about the current state that we're in. We've raised concerns about what we inherited, things that the people of Lackawanna County were unaware of, unpaid bills, concerns about what is actually happening here and what has happened and what has continued to happen. Charlie, you talked about courage earlier, and I said it. I said, courage is doing what's right. And at the end of the day, that is what I will continue to do, is what is right. You talked about things that were said over the past. You know, it's one of the things that I said is that I was always put people ahead of politics as well. And that's on my mind on a daily basis. And I will always do the right thing each and every day. And that's the mentality that I bring to this building each and every day. Every decision that is made each and every day is made with the roughly 220,000 residents of Lackawanna County on my mind. This is an extremely difficult job to do, and that's no secret. But you have individuals that want to do this job and that want to do it well and that want to bring Lackawanna County back to where we feel it belongs. My wife and I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. We're invested here. My 5-year-old starts kindergarten next week. We're not going anywhere. I was born and raised here, born and raised in the heart of West Side. My father's 73 years old, my mother's 71 years old. I have 2 brothers raising their families in this area as well. We all want to do the right thing. That's all we want to do at the end of the day. I don't care about Democrat, I don't care about Republican, I don't care about independent. I honestly don't, right? I don't even consider myself, people say to me, oh, you're in politics now. Yeah, but I'm an elected official, I'm not a politician. I want to do the right thing, and I want to be able to make things right. And it's been an absolute pleasure to be here for 8 months and to be able to work with the people in this room. Brian Jeffers of the world, the Dave Bolzonis of the world, the Don Fredericksons, the Tracy Harts. Incredible, wonderful, hardworking people that love their job and do it well on a daily basis. So at the end of the day, I just want to do what's right. I just want to do what's best, and I just want to fix our problems. Right? You guys remember the Ray Albrigi era. Don't tell me you had a problem. Tell me you had a problem and how you fixed it. And I think that's the mentality that I have, and I think the mentality that I'll continue to have. Thank you.
Thank you. Member of the Chris Chermak Fan Club. Well, listen, this whole thing is ridiculous, so I just want to set the record straight. And I feel the need to address several points raised by Commissioner Chermak today and on a statement that he put out on social media and to the press recently. While I respect his commitment to our county, it's crucial for everybody in this room and in the county who may be watching that I clarified the reality of the situation, not this absurd thing that was created today. Few points. Upon taking office, our administration took immediate action to address the financial issues the county was facing, among a number of other issues. We made it an absolute priority to inform the public of the dire financial straits our county was in, something unfortunately the prior administration, including Commissioner Chermak, ignored. To address these challenges, we were accepted into the Strategic Management Planning Program, and we hired a financial firm with the necessary expertise to help us navigate through these challenges, which Commissioner Chermak supported. This was important because the solutions needed are far more complex than what can be provided by someone whose business experience doesn't equate to managing a county government in complete and utter crisis. Commissioner Chermak has complained all over the county and on social media that he is being excluded from key decision-making processes. This is completely false. It is a lie. Commissioner Chermak is invited to all important and relevant meetings. Whether he chooses to show up is totally up to him. He has access to all the same information that we do. Whether he chooses to analyze it and understand it is, again, up to him. And this is nothing personal, ladies and gentlemen. It's the truth. Commissioner Chermak just mentioned to you about this big study committee they had years ago, and nothing was done with it because they couldn't get information. Did anyone ever hear of a right-to-know request? All you have to do is fill the paper out, and if you're looking for whatever specific information he's referring to, fill out a right-to-know. Everything, most things in this building are public documents, so I really don't buy that. If Commissioner Chermak wants to engage with the majority commissioners, he should attend meetings, he should sit down with us, and I'll mention that he's only been in my office once in 8 months, and dedicate himself fully to county business rather than focusing on his personal ventures. Commissioner Chermak has stated that Commissioner McGloin and I are spending excessively. This is what he cited in a statement to the press. I'd like to ask where? We've only been here for 8 months, and we inherited a budget that Commissioner Chermak was a part of that was completely smoke and mirrors. You won't hear a word from Commissioner Chermak about our analysis on the health department that he advocated for. Once we analyzed that, we dissolved it, which saved county taxpayers millions of dollars. So when we talk about savings, we have saved money over the last 8 months. We dissolved the health department, which was going to cost us taxpayers millions of dollars. He's also stated, and he just mentioned, that we've spent excessively on consultants. Which ones? Bev Mackrath, who Commissioner Chermak voted for to help turn around the dire situation we inherited with the Office of Youth and Family Services. Why won't you hear him talk about these things? Because in my personal opinion, he doesn't care about good policy. He cares about the low-hanging fruit and the pandering, which we saw on display today. The long-suffering minority commissioner, oh, I can't do anything. I don't want to raise taxes. Oh, geez, I don't know what to do. It's complete BS. Commissioner Chermak stated that we should have made strategic cuts across departments throughout the county over the last 8 months. Well, I've only been here 8 months. What departments would Commissioner Chermak like to cut? What strategic cuts would he like to make? Where is the alternative plan? Finally, instead of resorting to social media complaints, I urge Commissioner Chermak to roll up his sleeves and contribute meaningful insight. The role of the minority commissioner in the history of Lackawanna County is to serve as a watchdog to the taxpayers of this county. And for 4 years, Commissioner Chermak, in my own personal opinion, sat in this room with the previous administration. He had ample time and opportunity to speak up on the myriad of issues, inheriting $18 or $19 million in unpaid bills, and quite frankly, mismanagement that put us in the position we are in today. A position that none of us would like to be in, but it's the harsh reality. Instead, Commissioner Chermak, the fiscal watchdog, in my opinion, was unfortunately asleep at the switch. This isn't a personal attack. It is in response to Commissioner Chermak saying that we've spent excessively and that we really haven't done anything over the last 8 or 9 months. It couldn't be further from the truth. We just had the group that we hired, the financial experts in here, that literally gave a report card to county taxpayers on where we are and the fact that in the next few months, we're going to end up $11 million short. Next year, based on the information that we've received so far, we're probably going to have somewhere in the area of $25 million structural deficit. What we're doing is we're being honest. We're not pandering to anybody. I've been through this before on Scranton City Council. We're telling the truth. Commissioner Chermak wants to turn around like he did today and play the part of the hero, virtue signaling that he will never raise taxes and proclaiming that we have a spending problem. How heroic of Commissioner Chermak. Thank you for your in-depth analysis on the situation, but those blanket statements won't cut it any longer. Our residents deserve leadership that is focused on solutions, not on public displays of discontent with nothing to back it up, that unfortunately, we saw some speakers here today, they actually believe it, which is unfortunate. We are here to solve the financial issues facing our county, and that requires all hands on deck, working together for the common good. And if Commissioner Chermak would like to be a part of that, we'd love to have you. If you're going to continue to whine and not offer up any alternative plan or solution, then get out of our way and let us fix this problem that has been festering for years and years and years. Thank you. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? This meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.